Well, good day, subscribers. Today I'm going to do one of the most requested videos. I get a lot of times in the comment section, and I used to think, like, why does anybody even want to know my daily schedule? But then I kind of looked at it and I'm like, well, I do live kind of a different lifestyle. Like, I make YouTube videos and I invest in the stock market, and those are kind of the two main things I do in this life. So I'm like, I guess it's kind of interesting for people to know my average daily schedule, what goes on, what time I do certain things at. So that's what I'm going to kind of share with you guys here today, broken down. Now, no 2 days are alike for me. Since in my own person, I can make moves when I want to make moves. Like, no 2 days are exactly the same. However, if we're going through Monday through Friday, an average day, this is what an average day looks like for me. So hope you guys enjoy this today. Hit a thumbs up if you do, all right? So usually I'll wake up sometime around maybe like 10 a.m. Sometimes I'll sleep a little later than that, maybe wake up at 11 a.m. If I'm waking up early, I wake up at around 9 a.m. I'll wake up, I thank God, I'm just like happy to enjoy another day on this earth, say hi to my wife and kids, and have breakfast just like an average person would do. I guess you would say not much different there, okay? Around 10:30 a.m., that's when I start checking stocks. I check my emails, I check how YouTube's doing, all those sorts of things. I don't like to check those right off the bat as soon as I wake up. Like, I don't sleep with my phone by me or my iPad or something, because I don't want to, like, I don't want to be like already, like, as soon as I wake up, I'm just already in the zone. I like to kind of wake up, get my head right, get out of that fogginess and whatnot. I don't want to wake up to this email or you know, this stock is down or whatever. Like, I don't want to, you know, wake up to drama. I want to like slowly wake up, get myself together, have some breakfast, and now I can take on the day, okay? So at 10:30, I'll usually check all that stuff out, see what's going on, see emails I got, see you know, how YouTube's doing, and I'll deal with all that stuff after, okay? So that's kind of the way I like to wake up, not just like go straight into it. Some people, like, as soon as they wake up, they go start checking their emails, they check if they are investing in the stock market, they start checking stocks and stuff, like they start checking their business. I don't like to do that right off the bat. Give me 30 minutes to kind of get right, and then I'm ready for the day, okay? Around 11:30, so that usually takes about an hour to get all that stuff done. So around 11:30, I'll go into my stock market membership group, which is like a private group for stock market investors out there. I think it's like the third link in the description if you want to join. And I'll just respond to people. I get comments in there all the time, or questions. You know, people want to know my opinion on certain stocks, or they just have questions in general. Maybe it's a newer investor, they want to know about this or that. So I just kind of spend an hour or so kind of, you know, responding to tons of different comments for people that are in that group. I think we have something like 300 members in that group. So, you know, needless to say, I try to respond to every single person in there. And it's a, you know, a lot of questions and a lot of stuff to go through. So that usually takes about an hour. Around 12:30 in the afternoon, that's when I start to figure out what YouTube video I will do for that day. And it all just depends. So if there's a lot of stock market news going on, a lot of earnings, a lot of stock market drama, I'm gonna probably do something news related. However, if there's nothing really going on, it's kind of a boring day out there, then what I'll usually do is I will either talk about a stock I'm buying, or I'll go into, I have like hundreds of video ideas plotted out. This being one of them, okay, that I'll go ahead and I'll be like, okay, I want to talk about this today on the YouTube channel, since there's not really much going on in the stock market. There's no news at that particular time. That's what I'll go ahead and do. So I figure that out. That usually takes, you know, 15 to 30 minutes somewhere in there to kind of figure out, okay, I want to go in this direction or that direction today. And then I go ahead and prep for that YouTube video. That usually takes about an hour, the prep, especially if I'm talking about like a stock market news story or talking about a new stock or something, because I got to take a lot of screenshots from a lot of different places and whatnot. So usually prep for that is one of the longest tasks I have. It usually takes around an hour. Sometimes it can take more than an hour. I know for like my Friday videos, for instance, for my private stock market membership group, those videos can sometimes take 2 to 3 hours to prep because they're such long videos. A lot of them are like 30 plus minutes. And it's just a ridiculous amount of prep time that goes in for that. But an average YouTube video, maybe somewhere around an hour. Then I go ahead and record that YouTube video. Depends on how long it is. You know, I record all in one take. I never do a double take. I just literally record, and it is what it is, okay? And that's kind of how I've always done it. It keeps it simple. I know some people like to do 3, 4, 5 takes of YouTube videos, and that's cool if you're trying for perfection, or you got a comedy video or something like that. But for me, just talking about stocks or news stories or passive income or whatever I'm talking about, like, there's no need to record it 10 times. It's just unrealistic, okay? So around 2:30, what I'll do is I'll have a small lunch or I'll have a snack. I'm not a big lunch person, okay? I'll have a good-sized breakfast and a good-sized dinner. But as far as lunch goes, I just have like a small lunch of some kind. I don't want something to bog me down that I'm gonna feel like, type thing. Like some people like to have big lunches, and then all of a sudden they get back to their desk or they get back to work and they're like, oh, they're totally drained, you know what I mean? That's not what I like to do. I like to have a small lunch, just kind of keep my energy up, keep feeling good and whatnot, but not something that's gonna bog me down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I ate too much type situation, okay? Around 3, I'll go ahead and edit that video. Usually between the edits and uploading and all that type of stuff, it usually takes around an hour. My edits are pretty simple. There's not a lot to it. It's just kind of me like looking at the video, kind of cropping this out or that out, and it's pretty simple edits. Around 4 o'clock, I'll go ahead and post that video, and then I'll try to interact with early viewers if possible. So like the first 30 minutes of video will come out is actually the best time you have the possibility to interact with me in the comments and whatnot. Usually within the first like 30 minutes of the YouTube video, I'll kind of like be looking at comments and responding to people and whatnot, and those are kind of like the most loyal viewers of the channel are a lot of times the ones that kind of view it within the first 30 minutes. So I try to interact with people, just say hi or whatever, if you know, time presents itself. So, and usually I'll post a video sometime around 4 o'clock, sometimes it's 3 o'clock, sometimes it's 5 o'clock, it just depends, but I would say on average it's probably around 4, okay? Around 4:30, I'll go and usually go and work out Monday through Friday. Not every single day, but maybe like 3 to 4 times a week. I'll go do sprints, some cardio. For me personally, I like to do sprints. I like to do something that's high velocity that like really gets you going. I don't like to do long distance running or something like that. Like I like it to be intense. I like to be hard, and I like to get it over with at the end of the day. Not like let's go run 5 miles and it takes like forever and ever to do it. Okay, so I usually go get some cardio in. Then 5:30, I'll come home, you know, take a shower and whatnot. I'll check how stocks ended up finishing for that day. I'll check out news stories related to stocks. Maybe I missed. Maybe earnings came out after the bell that I haven't gotten to see and whatnot. I'll check out all that. You might wonder, well, why are you not checking stocks like 50 times a day? Well, for myself as a long-term investor, there's really no point in checking stocks 50 times a day. Like I can check stocks like 1, 2, maybe 3 times a day, and I'm good. I'm a long-term investor in companies. It's more just seeing like, is there anything crazy going on with those stocks? If not, like who even cares? I'm usually planning to invest in a company for 3, 4, 5, maybe even more years out than that. So regardless if this stock went up or down 10 cents today, it literally doesn't make a difference. If you're a day trader or something like that, you're going to need to be watching stocks, you know, most of the day, especially if you're trying to trade in and out and watching chart patterns and things like that. For myself as a long-term investor, like I don't need to be doing that. So I check stocks real quick, and then I'm mainly looking at news stories that came out in relation to stocks, the stock market, and things like that. Okay, that usually takes about an hour. Then I'll have dinner at 6:30 as a family. 7 o'clock, I'll check out how YouTube is doing. How did that video perform that we released around 4 o'clock or so? Did it get a lot of views, a little bit of views? Just like how's the channel doing in general? Just try, you know, checking out channel health on YouTube. Then around 7:30, I'll play with my kids a bit. They usually go to bed between 8:30 and 9, so I want to get you know, an hour and a half of playing with them in before they get to bed. Around 8:30, I'll spend time with my wife. Then around 10, I listen to this is when I do a lot of the more intense research work in the stocks around 10 o'clock, because you know, everybody's gone to bed. It's a better time to do that. So I'll listen to conference calls. I'll listen to investor presentations. I'll read annual reports. I'll read quarterly reports. I'll read articles people might have written about stocks that I own or looking into and whatnot. I'll just do a massive amount of research work in that time from around 10 o'clock at night to around midnight, maybe 1 in the morning, sometime around there. That's just a perfect time for me to get a ton of research work done, and I do a lot of it, especially Monday through Friday. That's my main time I'm going to be spending doing that stuff, all right? Around midnight is kind of that time for me where I start to zone out. I think everybody kind of has that time where they just kind of want to zone out for the day. And around midnight is kind of my time where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to just key down. I want to get away from all the work-related stuff. I just maybe want to watch some entertainment or something like that. For me personally, I'll usually go and watch YouTube videos. That's like what I prefer. I prefer YouTube as entertainment. So usually I just kind of key down, watch YouTube and stuff, and just chill out. And then usually around 1 to 2 in the morning, I end up going to bed. So if you notice, it's not like I get a massive amount of sleep. If you're like, man, you wake up at 10 a.m. every day, or 11 a.m. or something like that, man, you must get a massive amount of sleep. Not really, because I'm going to bed, you know, 1 to 2. So maybe I get like, if I go to bed at 2 and I wake up at 10, I'm getting like 8 hours sleep, which is like what a person should get, in my opinion, about 8 hours sleep. So it's not like I'm getting a ton of sleep. Or, you know, some people that might go to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, if they wake up at 10 a.m., that's like insane sleeping in. For me, I don't do that. It's around around 8 hours usually. Even on the weekends, I still sleep around 8 hours. It's rare for me to sleep more than like 9 or 10 hours in a night. And that is an average Monday through Friday day for me. You know, sometimes the order of this stuff will change up depending on the day. And for the weekends, it's really totally different than this. Especially now, it's completely different than this. But this is the average day of someone that's a YouTuber and someone that just invests in stocks. Like, this is my life, and this is kind of what an average day for me is. And you know, like I said, weekends are different. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm glad to get this video out there. Now I have a video to point everybody to in the future that asks me for my daily schedule. I can say, hey, here's the link to this video. You can watch that, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this today. Hit a thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.